You know, in the most frozen, forgotten corner of our planet, a storm is quietly brewing. And no, I'm not talking about the weather. This is a story that's unfolding deep beneath miles of ice, and it has the power to reshape global energy politics forever. It all kicks off with one, just unbelievable number.
511 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the number at the very heart of this story, a number that could literally change everything.
So what is it? What does that number mean? Well, it's the reported size of one of the largest untapped oil reserves ever found, an absolutely unimaginable prize, and it was discovered by Russian research vessels hiding in plain sight, right beneath the Antarctic ice sheet.
All right, so to really get a handle on the stakes here, we first have to grasp the sheer scale of what we're talking about. This isn't just a small find.
Okay, let's really put that 511 billion barrels into perspective, because it's not just a big number, it's absolutely monumental. We're talking nearly double Saudi Arabia's entire known reserves. And get this, it's more than 10 times the total amount of oil pulled from the North Sea over the last 50 years. 50! It's just staggering. And, of course, this is where things start to get complicated. The find is right in the Weddell Sea, which is already a pretty tricky spot. Why? Because you've got the UK, Argentina, and Chile all with overlapping territorial claims. But believe it or not, that's not even the biggest obstacle here.
No, the biggest hurdle brings us to the real heart of this whole conflict. An ironclad pact, a promise made decades ago, that's supposed to make this discovery, well, technically, completely untouchable.
That promise is called the Antarctic Treaty, signed way back in 1959. And it's a huge deal. It's this landmark international agreement that basically puts the entire continent off limits. It's meant to be preserved for peace and for science. And it explicitly bans all military activity and, this is the key part, all resource exploitation.
Yeah, at its core, this pact basically says Antarctica is a global commons. It belongs to no one and everyone, and it's dedicated only to science and peace. So you can see the problem, right? Any drilling for oil would be a direct, blatant violation of these foundational rules.
I mean, for decades, people have called this thing one of humanity's most noble agreements. Think about it, a pact to protect one of the very last pristine wildernesses left on Earth. The big question is all of that about to change?
Because let's be honest, with a prize this huge just sitting there, that treaty is being tested like never before. The continent is quietly turning into this new arena for a global great game, a sort of frozen chessboard for the world's superpowers.
So, on one side of this board, you've got Russia. Now, their official story, it's all purely scientific research, totally in line with the treaty. But the evidence on the ground, things like seismic activity and these really high-tech surveys that running, well, it looks an awful lot like resource exploration.
Which brings us to the big, unavoidable question that everyone is asking now. Is Russia just bending the rules, or are they getting ready to shatter them completely?
But here's the thing. The plot really thickens here, because Russia isn't the only major player making moves on this icy chessboard.
You've also got China. They've been very quietly, but very steadily expanding their presence down there. We're talking multiple new research bases, a bigger fleet of icebreakers. They are absolutely establishing a major foothold, getting ready for whatever comes next.
So, why now? Why are these global powers suddenly investing so much time and money down there? The answer is that Antarctica has become a new geopolitical frontier, where its incredible isolation is actually its most strategic asset.
I mean, the strategic logic, especially if you look at it from Russia's perspective, is pretty clear. They're facing global isolation, sanctions, they're cut off from Western energy markets. So it makes a kind of cold, hard sense that they would look to this new frontier to try and secure energy dominance for the future.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is this discovery really just about science? Or is Antarctica becoming Putin's next big chess move in a very long game for global energy dominance?
So, where does all of this leave us? Well, it brings us to the final, absolutely critical choice that the entire world is facing. It's a massive, high-stakes bet. Let's call it the Great Antarctic Gamble.
And really, it all boils down to this one simple but huge conflict. On one side, you have a promise that's held for over 60 years, a treaty that has kept an entire continent safe and pristine. And on the other side, the almost unbelievable temptation of 500 billion barrels of oil.
So the fundamental question we all have to ask is,
Will that promise be broken? Will one of humanity's most noble agreements, something that has held firm for generations, finally be shattered?
Because you have to think about what happens next if that line is crossed. It could trigger a mad dash, a frantic race for resources, a new kind of Cold War in the coldest place on Earth. And let's be clear, this is about way more than just oil. This is about who gets to write the rules for the 21st century.
It really leaves us with this one kind of stark thought. The silence of Antarctica may soon be broken, not by science, but by ambition. And if that silence is broken, our world might never be the same.